let's rate all my cardigans. Hi, my name is Alena. This is my knitting channel. I am content creator, engineering manager and knitter, of course. And today I want to rate all my cardigans that I've knitted. I've been knitting without pauses, like big pauses, for almost 2.5 years. And I have some amount of cardigans, and I also want to share how they held during all of the wearing. What are their pluses, what are their minuses, and will I knit the same cardigan once again? And you know what? I will also add my favorite photos of how I wore them, so maybe you'll get some style and inspiration. So without further ado, let's start from this one. This was my favorite, favorite, and also this was my first ever knitted cardigan. This is supposed to be a sweater, but I knitted a cardigan. As you can see, this is a wrap cardigan right now. And the original pattern was gorgeous. One second. This was a gorgeous sweater by Calibri by Johanna. And this is a sweater with a big bow that you can wear a bow on your back. This kind of your wedding pattern that you can wear for your wedding and be stunning. I decided to knit it and I ordered this beautiful knitting for olive soft silk mohair in color bottle green. While I started knitting, I understood that I don't want to wear a bow. That's not my style. So I decided to go with a just wrapped cardigan. Once the pattern suggested to start knitting the bow, I just continued knitting the same wrap and finished everything with I-cord as the pattern suggested. And also I knitted big, beautiful, as you can see, there is no tapering at all, and they kind of like almost bell sleeves with also I-cord finishing. The biggest and I think the most interesting part of this cardigan, as you can wear it not only like that, but you can also wear it like this. There should be probably some kind of music while I'm trying to do it. So, from the front it will look like just a sweater, but let me show you. I hope that you're able to see. And in this case, I think that it looks much more holiday appropriate, especially if you wear a dress and tie it on your back or use a belt to tie it over here. And my favorite way of wearing this cardigan with dresses, because I can use a tie of a dress, maybe a belt, and kind of like cinch it a little bit on my waist over here, like on my trousers, and to add a little bit of waist shaping. Plus I really love wearing it in summer in office because this is a mohair cardigan. It's so lightweight, so you can put it in any bag and take to your office, and it's really warm, and I like how the color looks on me. So I knitted it with 5mm needles and 6 balls of soft silk mohair. I will go a little bit closer to show you how the fabric looks in 2 years of wearing. Obviously there's no peeling because this is a mohair cardigan, but mohair still feels soft and it haven't felted. That's also a great thing about mohair, that it doesn't felt. I would rate it as superb because truly amazing color and really versatile style, especially. I like that one, and I think that one of the most popular photos on Instagram was with this cardigan with open back. After that cardigan, I fell into a trap of no colors. let's call it like that, because I just started knitting. I went on Instagram. Everyone had this beautiful grid with lots of natural colors. It all combined pretty well, and the feed looked so beautiful. So I decided probably I need to knit with earthy or some natural shades. So next several cardigans will be in that style, but I will tell you at the end how the scene's right now. The next cardigan that I want to share with you is probably one of the most worn knits that I've ever made. This is Levitate wrap. This is this kind of kimono wrap cardigans. Probably you can understand that I love wrap cardigans. This is a part of Desire Breeze collection, and this cardigan designed by my favorite since knitwear. You need to have a button over here to close it, but I have just an English pin or stitch marker to do it. So usually I tuck this part into my trousers as well. This is beautiful wrap cardigan with long ties that you can tie around your waist. It is cropped, but probably because of the color and because of the feel on my skin, I really wear it a ton. It's not itchy, but it's fluffy, it's so cozy. Maybe I need a second one. The yarn that I've used is exactly the same that the original sample featured on my favorite since knitwear posts were. This is Desire Eco Soft. At that moment it was called Eco Soft, but right now this is just soft in color, let me check, 2S, and Desire 301 in color linen. If you're thinking about knitting this cardigan with the same yarn, I highly recommend do not skip 301, because the cardigan holds its shape only with something that can help with integrity, because you need a silk mohair or a 301 to hold Eco Soft, because it can stretch quite a lot, so don't omit it. This cardigan needs a little bit of depiling, but before I do this, I can show you how this cardigan looks after a year of constant wearing, especially with the coat, because I live in not so warm climate and I cannot wear just a cardigan without a coat. So it hasn't peeled too much, but you see some, like some bits that you want to take from it, so I will just use my depiler and remove them. Some bits like this, but I think that this is kind of like of initial peeling. I knitted this cardigan in size 2, and I don't think that I needed to go with something another, like with a bigger size. This cardigan you start knitting from the back and you shape this beautiful shoulder detail. Let me show you. I hope you are able to see. So you start knitting this cardigan from the back. You start from forming the back yoke as usual as a trapezoid shaped yoke, and you do increases on the wrong and right side to shape this beautiful shoulder detail. I think it's called Japanese shoulder. You have several stitches, and after several stitches you start increasing, and then you knit till the same amount of stitches on the other side, and you increase before this amount of stitches. As this cardigan knits up on 6mm needles with bulky yarn, it just flew off your needles. Then you pick up stitches for your shoulder and you start knitting your shoulder. There is no increases to form over here the armhole, nothing like that. You just start increasing for your neck, like for the wrap cardigan shape. Then you do the same on the other side, and then you join under the arms, and you need for not too long. As you can see, this cardigan isn't too long, but you have several decreases over here to kind of taper it a little bit on your waist. After that, you pick up stitches for your sleeves. Neat tapered sleeves, and at the very end you form a beautiful cuff. The cuff is double folded stockinette stitch. You go with, I think, 2 sizes smaller needle. You need some amount of centimeters of stockinette, then you purl 1 row, need the same amount of stitches in just the same amount centimeters of on a stockinette, and then you just bind off over here, like using sewn bind off to join when you started knitting this stockinette cuff together. So you have kind of double folded stockinette, and I need to take it off. I need to take it off because that's a little bit too hot in such cardigan, especially when you try to talk. After that, you put all your stitches for the bottom, like all stitches, as you can see, that's a long one. You put all your body stitches on hold and start knitting a long double knitted button band, but that's not a button band, there is no buttons, kind of like this plank for all the front. And after that, you start knitting double folded, kind of like bottom edge. So you have quite a lot of double knitting over here, because you will also need 2 long ties in double knitting, but once again, just because of the gauge, it doesn't feel like too complicated stuff. I think that's it about Levitate wrap, and my rating for this cardigan will be also superb. I love it, love so much. The next cardigan that I want to share with you, this is my Wabi Sabi cardi by Milena Paulina. This was a test knit, and the yarn was kindly sponsored by BC Garn. This is their This is their Hamilton Tweed 2. This is also a bulky weight yarn, so this cardigan also flew off my needles. You know what? I forget to mention how I wear my Levitate wrap. Usually I wear my Levitate wrap with everything, like literally everything. I don't have any specific style ideas for that one, but I think that probably the most beautiful combination was when I wore that cardigan with a black dress. I will put the photo. It was also extremely popular on my Instagram account, so if you're not there, I highly recommend following me on Instagram. Let's come back to this cardigan. This is once again a cropped cardigan. Yes, I have a lot of cropped cardigans because I like wearing high-waisted jeans, and that's why I don't need too long cardigans. Plus I sit a lot in the office, and probably too long cardigan will peel too much under my bum on the chair, you know, like not the best way. Plus I do love wearing dresses and skirts also high-waisted, so I don't have any problems with it. This cardigan was knitted really fast. It has really basic construction, but one important note: if you're going to knit this cardigan, please follow the instructions for German short rows, because as you can see, it looks a little bit strange on my back. Just because at the time when I started knitting it, there were no short rows in the pattern, as it was a test knit, but then the designer added them, so highly recommend, but I didn't want to reknit it. I was a little bit lazy. Yes, I think that probably that wasn't the best idea, and maybe I had to reknit it, but don't judge me. This is a cardigan that you start knitting from the back. You cast on with the crochet hook and then you knit the back yoke. After that you pick up stitches for your fronts. You knit front parts, then both front parts, then you join under the arm and you start this lateral braid over here. Through the whole cardigan. Then you need 10-ish centimeters to something like that of the body once again. Then you do the same braid and then you knit 1 by 1 rib and just bind off with Italian bind off. Then you can knit your button bands or the sleeves. If you will go with the sleeves, you will do usual tapered sleeves as usual, and you also will have 2 braids as well as on the body. Button bands knitted in 1 by 1 rib. After knitting main button band, you will go with neckline and you will add additional button on the neckline. I get a feeling that it is a little bit maybe too tight over here from one side, but I think that's because of my Italian bind of tension. But I cannot say that this is a big minus of this cardigan. I knitted it with 7mm needles for the main stockinette parts and I think 6mm for all the ribbon details and 5.5 for button band and over here, because usually I feel that button band I can knit a button band a little bit too wonky with the same needle size as cuffs. Let me show you how this cardigan looks with time. That's a awkward one. So we have some peeling. This cardigan in my wardrobe almost, I think, a little bit more than a year. And as usual, I wore this cardigan a ton with the cord, so you may see some peeling, but it's not too harsh. Plus, as you can see, the cardigan may look a little bit rustic, you know, kind of like tweedy rustic yarn, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like a hug. That's why I can, you know, I kind of forget all the peeling. I would rate it as, I think, B, because I love it, but it's not so versatile as previous cardigans. Usually I prefer wearing this cardigan mostly with dresses and skirts, because they kind of cover my back a little bit better, and the cardigan is quite short on the back, as you saw. So I'm not a big fan of wearing it with these jeans. I have one a little bit higher, like these jeans, so I can wear them together. But mostly I prefer wearing this cardigan with skirts and dresses. It looks so cute with one of my dresses, so I can definitely forgive the fact that I was a lazy one and decided not to add shirt rows on the back. The next cardigan that I want to share with you was also a test knit, and I don't have that cardigan anymore. This is a cardigan by Word Knit, and it was Cardi Jumper version 2. She was updating her pattern of Cardi Jumper, the original one, and she decided to add additional version with stripes on that cardigan, and I was in a test knit group, but I received only pattern for testing and I bought yarn, the recommended one. It was Red Rosaria Mondim by Rosa Pomar. That's a little bit rustic. I think it's kind of fingering weight yarn, but I would say that's more kind of like a sport one, because I got a gauge of almost DK weight yarn. Let me check. Yeah, the gauge was pretty close to the DK weight, because I got 24 stitches per 10 centimeters on... I have my laptop to check everything. On 4mm needles, I have a little bit more tight tension than a designer, so I went to 4mm needles. That was just a simple V-neck cardigan, but the most beautiful part was those stripes. The stripes was pretty tiny, and they added a little bit of freshness. That cardigan also had a color. Surprisingly, that was the next cardigan with the colors that I've knitted. And why I don't have that cardigan anymore? Because I decided to give it to my friend, because I felt that it's it was kind of like boxy, oversized body with too slim sleeves for me, and that didn't feel right. I don't know. I wasn't wearing it. I didn't want to wear it too often. At the very beginning, when I just needed it, I wore it probably for 2 weeks in a row or something like that. But then I felt that I'm not sure. So I presented it to my friend, and she's so happy. She sends me photos each time she wears it. So I think that's worth knitting it. That was also a drop shoulder cardigan, as you can see. That's probably my vibe over here. But that one isn't a typical classical drop shoulder cardigan that you usually start from the shaping back yoke as a trapezoid shape, or just without trapezoid shape, just like a rectangle back. That one you start knitting with a little bit of a short rows, and then you start forming the seam on your shoulder. I think that probably this seam was the reason why I wasn't so comfortable wearing it, because I have not the best posture, and that's why that seam looked a little bit awkward on me. Then after forming this beautiful part of shoulder, it still looks beautiful. You split for the front yoke and for the back yoke. You knit them separately till you get to the point where you need to join under the arms, and then you can start adding stripes or knit them, whatever feels right for you. And you need to just till the end, like how you decide to go with it. I decided to go with the cropped version, and I knitted everything according to the pattern. The pattern has a lot of charts and descriptions how to choose your size, so I went with size 3. Probably it was a little bit too much for my shoulders, but I don't know. Maybe I had to knit second size and it would be better. Or maybe that's just a construction that doesn't suit my shoulders. And then, as usual, you you finish the cardigan with 1x1 rib. Then you pick up stitches for the sleeves, and you start knitting sleeves also with stripes or midden stripes. And at the very end, you need to knit a long cuff. And over there, I decided to go not even with one size smaller needle. The main body and the sleeves we knitted on 4mm needles, and I went to 2.5mm needles to knit, almost like a store-bought cuff. It looked really beautiful. I think that I still have some photos and I can show it over here. And then you just need really tiny double knitted button band, and that was my first ever double knitted button band, because I knitted it before the Levitate wrap. We are not in historical order over here. And you attach buttons, and that's it. It's pretty simple. I have knitted that cardigan pretty fast, surprisingly, because the gauge isn't a bulky gauge. But it was, that's always so pretty cheapy when you need something with stripes, right? And as for wearing, mostly I wore that cardigan with jeans and something simple underneath, because it was a colorful one, and the stripes were tiny, so I wasn't ready to pair it with some kind of a dress with a pattern. I like flowery dresses, because I'm kind of like a little bit with a girly vibe from time to time when I want to wear a dress. And that cardigan you may also wear in both ways, with V and button bands on the front or on the back. I will add additional photos as well, so you can see. And for me, the rating will be, let's go with D, because, I don't know, I wasn't happy with the fit after some time of wearing it, because all those shoulder details were not working for me. So I'm not the biggest fan of how that cardigan was on me, but the cardigan itself was a joy to knit, and I really love versions of that cardigan on other people. And also that cardigan looks like a Cezanne dupe for one of their cardigans. So if you're on the market of that Cezanne cardigan, you may go and knit this one. You won't regret it if you really love these kind of shoulders, because I know that there are a lot of patterns with something like that, but for me that's probably not the best option, and I will try to omit it in future. That's good that I know it right now. The next cardigan that I want to share with you is Braidy Loop cardigan by Other Loops. And this was a cardigan that I fell in love right after it was posted on Instagram for the first time. This is a stunning cardigan with braids all over the sleeves and top of the back. Kind of like right after the neckline. But something isn't working right over here, and I will show you a little bit why. So the cardigan itself knits in an interesting way. You start knitting saddle shoulder. From the back you cast on some amount of stitches with provisional cast on, then you knit a braid, then you form one shoulder neckline for one shoulder, add some increases and finish over here, putting your stitches on hold. Then you do exactly the same, unzipping your provisional cast on, and you knit somewhere like here as well. Then you pick up all your stitches for the both fronts, for the back, and you're unzipping over here the provisional cast on. Then you knit kind of like a raglan cardigan. Because over here you don't need to pick up stitches, you form this shoulder with increases. You form your neckline, this is a V neckline, then you do a little bit of knitting flat for the body, and then you have several decreases, you know, like to taper a little bit. The body wasn't the most enjoyable to knit, just because there is nothing interesting happening, and you finish your body with long hem with 1x1 rib. The most interesting part was to knit shoulders and to knit sleeves, because on sleeves you have this beautiful two braids that goes from the shoulders up to the end, and then you finish with 1x1 rib. The sleeves over here are tapered, and this is the problem that I want to share. You see, this cardigan is quite bulky, oversized, but not the sleeves. What's happening? What's going on? I have the same gauge, and this is the photo how it looked on the designer pictures. She can roll her sleeves, and she will get a lot of positive ease on her sleeves. My sleeves, my hands not too big, they're kind of slim, but I cannot get the same amount of positive ease. And I made it size 2, so it's not the smallest one. Probably have to frog whole sleeve and start decreasing with less rate, or maybe do not decrease at all. I need to think about it. Also, while knitting this cardigan, I lost one of my balls of knitting for the heavy merino, and I thought that I don't have enough, that's why sleeves slightly cropped, but even longer sleeve won't help with such tapered sleeve. And I know that I'm not the only one who had such problems. Probably something isn't working right in the pattern, or maybe I did something wrong. Let me know in the comments below if you have knitted this cardigan and you know what to add or how to fix the sleeves. The yarn that I've used here is the most precious combination of knitting for olive heavy merino and knitting for olive soft silk mohair. It's warm, just a little bit itchy. I'm wearing it with bare hands, and it doesn't irritate my skin too much. You know, it looks cozy. you have a lot of fluff. I cannot say how this yarn holds up because I don't wear it a lot. I still even don't have buttons attached. I have a button bands with buttonholes, but no buttons because I feel a little bit awkward in this cardigan, you know? Once again, something isn't working. I wore it several times to the office in summer because of AC there without any buttons, just like this with jeans and top. But I don't know. I'm not sure. Help me, please. So right now I will rate it as a D because that's a strange one. And additionally, what I have to mention that I knitted it with, I think, 5mm needles or 4.5. The suggested one because I got the same gauge as the designer. That looks so beautiful, you know? Especially all those braids. So I need to spend some time and re-knit the sleeves. But there are so many patterns that I want to knit. Maybe this can be also a gift for someone. We need to think. And you see it, right? They're all, those 3 cardigans, almost in the same color. Someone was inspired by a lot of beige and natural cardigans. But then I felt that I need a lot of color. I'm color girly and maybe my feed may look beautiful even with a lot of colors. By the way, I feel that it looks great right now with colors. You know, this is a bold one. It is bright. Let me show you closer buttons. They are shiny. That's an unusual one after a lot of, you know, after a lot of natural knits, but that's me. I feel so comfortable in such bold colors. There's no problem with... I feel so comfortable in bold colors, in dark colors, in bright blue colors, and this cardigan feels right for me. This was also a test knit for Cadre. This is Piet cardigan. I knitted this cardigan with Wulia by Gepard in electric blue and grey color, dark grey color. I think this is, let me check. Gepard Wulia in color 590 and Gepard Wulia in color 784. And I used different mohair. One of them was Filicana Natilia in this electric blue. This is bright cobalt blue color. And this is Pasquale Mohair Bliss in black color. That's why this looks almost like a black, but Wulia is a little bit more grayish and Mohair Bliss adds a little bit of this deepness to the color. I think that the construction of this cardigan is quite, familiar to everyone. This is classic drop shoulder cardigan. I'm not sure that I need to describe how to do the back, because that's kind of like a usual one with short rows. But let me show you the back, how it looks, because how this cardigan looks on the back, I think much more interesting than how to knit shaping of the yoke on the back. I'm in love. You have shoulders with different colors. So you need one shoulder in the same color as your back, another shoulder with another color. It may look like intarsia, but there is no intarsia. You just need one shoulder with one color, one shoulder with another color, and then you add 2 stripes. Over here it looks like only 1 stripe, and over here you can see 2 stripes. Then you need additional stripe, and you finish with 1 by 1 rib. Then you can knit button bands. I use the approach with buttonholes without cutting. I think that there is pretty nice tutorial on Florence Miller or Handmade by Florence YouTube channel how to do buttonholes without cutting the yarn, because I hate all those ends. So that was my option. And then you need both of the sleeves in different colors. You can probably try to switch your sleeves colors because, you know, on the back, one sleeve still looks a little bit different. But I decided to go with the original one. It is soft. I cannot say anything about peeling because I just needed it several months ago. But I wear it quite a lot right now. I don't have a lot, like, probably I'm telling this about every cardigan. But really, currently I'm a little bit on a cardigan phase. So when I go to work, I wear a cardigan because it can be a little bit too warm over there in a sweater, and you can just take off your cardigan and be in a t-shirt, for example. Especially, you know, on a meeting in a meeting room with a lot of people. It can get a little bit too hot in one room with 10 or 15 people. Or maybe someone starts being afraid, and that's why I can't hold all those people. I will rate this cardigan as A. It looks cool, fresh. Cannot say that this is superb. That's my rating. I can do whatever I want. And this cardigan needed pretty fast because it has a bulky gauge, I think 14 stitches or something. Yeah, it's 15 stitches per 10 centimeters, so it knits up really fast. And you know, as usual, when you have stripes, everything can be done much faster just because you cannot wait to finish this stripe and start another one. This cardigan I wear mostly with jeans because, you know, it's bold statement piece. That's why I don't want to wear it with dresses, but with skirts it can be. Don't ask why, that's just my feeling. And there will be some additional photos of me wearing this cardigan with skirts from faux leather. I think it looks so beautiful because, you know, this kind of like difference in textures. I don't know, there's something special about this. I like how it looks on me because I feel that both colors really look so beautiful on me. This is probably one of the most intricate cardigans that I've ever knitted, and a lot of my friends told me that they cannot believe that I knitted this cardigan. This is a Flurry cardigan. It was a test knit for other knitwear. The yarn and pattern was kindly gifted for testing. The yarn used here is BC Garn Loch Lomond. This is a slightly rustic, just a little bit rustic tweedy yarn, held double in color 15 and in color 13. This is a raglan cardigan with all over color work. And this is finally a long cardigan. I even cannot show you the whole length. Wait a second. That was a strange one, but I finally was able to show you the whole length of this cardigan. This is a raglan cardigan that you knit in the round, and at the very end you stick it. But if you don't want to cut your sweater, because at that time this is a sweater, and you're too afraid of it, you can knit it flat. But I wasn't ready to purl in the color work for too long, because like I can do it for a little bit, but not for the whole cardigan. It looks so beautiful. Really, the only thing that gives you the feeling that it's handmade is, let me show you, I think that over here I messed up a little bit with my main yarn, and I hold them in a little bit different way. And that's it. I think that there are two minuses in this cardigan. The first one is that the pattern suggests you to add buttons starting from here and not from the neck. Because for me, buttonhole at the neck would be much better. And second one is there is no short row shaping at all. I don't understand why, but if you're able to do it, I highly recommend, because it would be a little bit complicated to do short rows in color work. Probably I wouldn't be able to understand how to add short rows or how to do short rows even with a description written with the color work. So thank you Maria for notating them. I was able to knit this cardigan without too big of a problem. You have this beautiful long raglan detail in main color. And I really like how it looks. Additionally, I want to say that this raglan didn't want to curl on your sleeves, because I know that a lot of raglans tend to do it, and there's nothing like that. It is really warm. It's kind of like a jacket. I wore it once to the office and it was really warm, but that's not a problem. This is a cardigan, not a sweater, so that's cool. Also, I omitted all of the buttonholes, and right now I'm not wearing it with buttons at all. I wear it just with a belt. As usual, photos will be here, because for me this cardigan looks a little bit like outerwear, so I wanted to play around a little bit and to pull it off with just a belt. You can wear it with, I think, anything. I've added additional lengths to the sleeves and to the body. I think that my body is longer by 5 or 10 centimeters. I think 5 or 7 centimeters longer than the pattern suggests, because I'm a tall girl, and sleeves also a little bit longer. Because this cardigan is so long, I can wear it with almost everything. I prefer right now wear it with a jeans and a top or a t-shirt, but also it would be so beautiful with a dress. I can see how I can do it, but I haven't tried it yet. Maybe I will record something and show you on one of my future style-on videos that I really hope I will do. I'm still a little bit intimidated, but I promise you I will do it. Let's come back to the construction of this cardigan. You cast on stitches with the main color. As usual for raglan, you put 8 stitch markers for each raglan detail and start knitting in the color work. The color work is the most easiest color work that you may think about. You just need one stitch with one color, another stitch with another color. You do 2 rows like that, and then you switch their placement. So nothing scary at that point. Then you, after finishing your raglan part, you split for the sleeves and start knitting sleeves. This is how the pattern suggests. So you do not pick up stitches over here. You cast on stitches for your sleeves, and then you knit a sleeve. You need a slightly tapered sleeve, not too much, but a little bit tapered, with this beautiful detail. And in this detail you hide all your beginning of the round, end of the round, and your decreases. That's why it looks clean. Yeah, I think it looks nice. After that, after knitting both of the sleeves, you come back to the body. You knit in the round or flat, it depends on your preferences, because the pattern has both options. You knit your body without any decreases, any increases. The only thing is that you need, this part where you will cut it if you're knitting in the round, and you're adding this line. It kind of continues, from the sleeve to the very end. And then after that you knit 1 by 1 rib. You have short cuffs and short hem with 1 by 1 rib. And at the very end, if you're knitting in the round, you can go with 2 options. One of them is sew along the recommended stitch whole cardigan with a sewing machine, or if you don't have a sewing machine, as for example, I don't have a sewing machine, so I use just a technique for crocheting over here 2 lines with only 1 strand of Loch Lomond, because I find out that when you want to stick your cardigan, you need to use slightly thinner or much thinner yarn before sticking, like to secure all your floats. And then you just cut it. This is the part where I cut my cardigan. Probably I will add some kind of ribbon just, to close it, so I can be sure that nothing will happen, especially with a lot of wear under the coat when it will, when there will be a lot of not tension, but maybe a little bit more pressure than you'd like. And after that you need 2 button bands. The button will walk you through how to knit the button bands. I recommend you adding the last button over here, so you will need to add and think how to add additional buttonhole on your neckline, and then you finish with the neckline, and that's it. The cardigan is ready. Probably I'm rambling a little bit too much about this cardigan because I'm in love. Really, I'm just totally in love with this cardigan. This looks like a masterpiece. I know that I made some mistakes with flaws, but still, if you're not a knitter, you won't see them. And I'm not sure even if a knitter will see some of my mistakes that I've done, just because you won't be so rough on me. But I'm kind of like that. But you won't be too strict on me, while I'm too strict to myself. So the rating of this cardigan will be superb. Of course, I cannot do something else. Let me know in the comments below which cardigan you find the most beautiful from all of my cardigans. Maybe you want to knit something else, and I still feel that I need to add 1 more cardigan to my collection. Maybe 2, but we will see. 1 for sure. It should be a pretty fitted cardigan, maybe a little bit cropped, with not so oversized sleeves, not so oversized, with more, not intricate, but more fitted shoulders. And I have one idea, it will be more knit cardigan. And if you want to see my journey with that cardigan, please subscribe and click on the bell button, so you'll be notified as soon as I post the video. And also, if you want to see some styling tips from me, which I promise I will record, but just a little bit later, I need to gain a little bit of self-confidence to do it. So you can subscribe and you will get much more content this year from me. So thanks all for staying with me and spending this time. Really appreciate all of you, and see you in the next video. Happy knitting!